Welcome back to the Tiga Tactics Podcast, a show about self-defense for civilians by civilians. We discuss all things personal protection, including martial arts, combat sports, and street combatives. Our resident MANs, martial arts nerd, include co-founder of Tiga Tactics and holder of 8 black belts in different styles, Dr. Conrad Bui.
Hello, everyone.
We also have the other co-founder, Patrick Vuong, but he's running a little bit late, so we're going to get to him when he jumps on the podcast. And I am your other co-host, active duty Army Special Forces soldier and champion obstacle course racing athlete, Evan Ultra-OCR man Perperis. Today we're going to be talking about Muay Thai, and specifically Dr. Conrad went to Thailand to train earlier this year and had quite an experience, and I believe got leveled up in his instructor certification. So that's kind of what we're going to be focusing on today. So I think most of our listeners probably are generally familiar with Muay Thai kickboxing, but why don't you, Dr. Conrad, give us like a quick explanation of what Muay Thai is?
Muay Thai is a combat sport from Thailand. And the unique thing about this combat sport is that you can use what they call it the art of 8 limbs, because you can use both hands. That's 2 right there. You can use both feet to kick with. That's another 2, right and left. So that's a total of 4 so far. You can also use your elbows and your knees. And then there's also clinching that they'll allow you to do as long as you're active. Striking from inside the clinch, you can sweep, you can strike inside the clinch. Of course, you can also just hold on, but then the ref will eventually break you apart. So that's the unique part of Muay Thai. I'm sure we have fans of UFC here. You'll hear them talk about Muay Thai as one of the pillars of modern day MMA, along with wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well too. So it forms one of the major pillars of MMA today.
Yeah, it's also where the Army Combatives program took a lot of its striking parts of its modern Army Combatives program from, specifically from Muay Thai. So, and tell us a little bit about when you kind of got started. I mean, if anyone hasn't listened to the Dr. Conrad episode where we dive into his background, definitely worth checking out. We're obviously not going to go through your whole background because that'll eat up more than an episode. But tell us specifically about like the Muay Thai portion of your background.
All right, I've been in Muay Thai about 18 years. When I moved over to San Francisco, I drove by this Muay Thai gym and I thought, oh man, I always wanted to do Muay Thai, and it was close to my house. And I walked in there, I took a private lesson. People were really cool. Sometimes we go into a gym, especially a full contact gym like Muay Thai or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I came from a traditional martial arts background, so I had this preconceived notion, like many traditional martial artists might have, as well as just the general public might have. You might think these guys at the gyms, they're probably dragging their knuckles, they're grunting at each other, they're not forming full sentences, and all they're there is just to beat each other up. But at most gyms I've been to, that's far from the truth. Many gyms, and all of the gyms I've been to, I haven't been to one where I thought, wow, the vibe here is really negative. People will be getting injured. Maybe I just need to go to more gyms, but all the gyms I've been to, everyone's very nurturing. Everyone understands that people are in the gym for different reasons. Some people are there to compete. Some people are there for just fitness. Some people might be there for self-defense. And some people might be there just to socialize. And so every gym that I've been to, people there understand all that. And so I went into the gym, and yeah, everyone was super nice. I did an intro. I already had a lot of martial arts background back then, but some of the strikes were a little different than what I did in Jeet Kune Do or Taekwondo. But if you have a background in striking, you'll pick it up really quickly, because there might just be a small few nuances. So if you practice any striking art like karate or Kempo or Jeet Kune Do, boxing even, you'll pick up Muay Thai very quickly. So I hopped in there. I liked everyone. I started training, and just as a side note, a year later, I hopped into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because all the guys in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class, after I trained Muay Thai, they would say, "Oh, hey, come join us, come join us." And they were really nice too. And so I always wanted to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and so I trained that. But I got my start in Muay Thai a year before the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu even.
Nice. Now, obviously every gym is going to be different, but based off of the gyms you've trained at, what's like a normal percentage breakdown for like how many people are there for competitive sport, and they're actually going on competing? How many people are just there for fitness? How many people are there for socializing, like percentage wise, ish?
Ish. I would say maybe 20 to 30% of the gyms out here, the ones I've been to, 20 to 30, maybe a little more, give or take, plus or minus 10% would be into the competitive.
Hmm.
Uh, and I mean like competitive as in fighting regularly. Maybe once a month, maybe once every other month, or even twice a month. And the other percentage, about depending on the gym you go to, could be 60 to 80% or hobbyists, and they might dabble in a few fights or a few. Back in the day, we'd call them smokers. Nowadays, it's more regulated, PKB type of matches where it's organized and you're not there to knock each other out. You're there to work your technique, score some points. And so I would say between 60 to 80% are hobbyists. Like I consider myself a hobbyist in Muay Thai. I'm not a competitor, and I'm definitely not a hardcore competitor. I go, I train, I have fun. I'm constantly learning new techniques. I get a great workout, and it's a social outlet for me as well too.
Nice, nice. Now, I've done it. That was actually, I think, technically the first martial art I did. It was a place that did karate and Muay Thai, and I trained there for a
Oh
couple
wow.
months one summer, way back. We got to go back like 20 years for that. But then, I've gotten some Muay Thai through the army. I guess, like I mentioned, the modern combatives, and then Jeet Kune Do pulls in a lot of Muay Thai, at least the place I train
Mhm.
at. So I get a little bit of it there, and a couple of online videos and stuff like that to help refine my technique when I'm practicing by myself. So, um, you know,
Right.
I think everyone, at least I don't know if this is worldwide, but at least I feel like in America, martial artists have this like fantasy about going to the country of origin of whatever martial arts you practice and like learning the secret techniques and training with the masters and
Mhm.
being part of like the culture. Um,
Yeah.
so tell me how you ended up in Thailand, and let's just go with like how you ended up there, um, for this training.
Just like what you said, I think every martial arts nerd wants to go to the origin of their art. Whether you practice Japanese arts, Chinese arts, Brazilian jiu-jitsu even. I think as a nerd, I find not just training the art to be beneficial. I like learning the culture. I want to learn some of the language as well too. The counting, the greetings, a little bit of the culture as well too. How to say thank you, how to treat each other, and whether that means bowing or just a fist bump or whatever. I like that culture. So I think also in the US, we think, oh, the training there must be different. And like what you said, maybe there's some secret stuff they're doing. Uh, and so this was my first training trip, and I hope to take more in the future. But uh, I can tell you right now, spoiler alert, it's not that different from the training over here. Maybe, and even over here from gym to gym, different gyms train differently too, depending on their curriculum, on the vibe of the gym as well, to the culture of the gym. And so going over to Thailand isn't that different. It is cool, of course. And so my teacher, Cruz Sam, here in San Francisco, he's a student of Master Toddy, and Master Toddy is a famous martial arts trainer. He used to train, I think, in Vegas or teach out of Vegas, and I think he has coached and taught over 50 some odd champions that he's taught. Some big names like Tito Ortiz, Gina Carano, so some big names like that. And he's moved to Thailand for a while now. And so, yeah, definitely. I approached my teacher and said, "Oh, I'd love to train in Thailand. I'd love to train under Master Toddy." And he said, "Yeah, go ahead and do it." And so he's gave me the connection, and I contacted Master Toddy, and I got hooked up with their instructor training program, and uh, got my tickets and flew over there and enjoyed myself.
So was this something that was already going on and then you kind of like jumped in on, or was this something like, hey, I just want to go to Thailand and through the connection, they're like, all right, we'll host you for a week and run like a training camp, or like how did like what did that look like?
Yeah, at Master Toddy School, they have instructors training a few times a year. And so they just told me, "Oh, we have a training camp at this time for you. Can you make it?" And
Gotcha.
yeah, that's how they do it over there.
And once you actually got there, was it like a normal vacation? Are you living in a hotel and then just like, driving or walking or taking the subway or whatever to the training site? Or are you like living in like the Muay Thai camp and like they're around all fighters? What did that look like?
Okay, at Master Toddy School, they do have live-in quarters right there, and they have different levels of of living quarters of lodging. And so at the lowest level would be like a dorm style. You might have two or three people, or maybe four even, in a room, and you're all sharing bathrooms down the hallway kind of thing. At another level, you have your own room and your own bathroom. And so I did the own room, the own bathroom. And that being said, it's not the lap of luxury. I think my wife would not approve, but it's got a bed. It has a clean blanket. It has a hot water. The living conditions I would categorize as third world country. But
Nice.
hey, I'm there to train, and it was right in the school. And so I would just walk down the stairs, a couple steps, and boom, start training.
Yeah, sometimes that's almost better though. Sometimes I like that like austere Spartan type of environment.
Yes.
And like
Yeah.
even the when I used to do a lot more strength weight training, I like gyms that were like borderline unhygienic, like a little bit dirty. Like I've been to Ronnie Coleman's gym in Arlington, Texas, or not, it's not his gym,
Wow.
but where he trained, Arlington Metroflex gym. It's also where Branch Warren trained. And it was like the grimiest, dirtiest gym with no air conditioning. And I loved it.
Uh,
I thought it was so good. Because it just kind of like gets you, it's like, all right, there's no distractions and there's no luxury. We're just here to move heavy weights around. So
right, right. And I think that's part of the culture. And if you're hardcore, you like it.
yeah. So what was our tell me take me one, how long is the camp, and then take me through like an average training a day? Or like am I sparring 8 hours a day and go to bed exhausted every night, or is it just like a cumulative, I'm up standing on my feet, going through technique, and then doing a little bit of sparring, etc.
Right. So I was there for 10 days. And so a typical day would be we would wake up, start training at I think 8 o'clock, and we would train for a couple hours because you want to train early because it gets hot pretty quickly there. So we train for 2.5 hours, then we would take a break, have some lunch, relax, maybe even nap or go hang out, get your groceries, and then you would start training back up again at about 6:30 at night.
Oh wow.
6:30 at night for another 2.5 hours. Uh, Luckily, so I did that for a couple days, and since the gym was far away from any of the tourist attraction or any of the nightlife or anything like that, I was able to talk to Master Toddy, and I got him to train us for 4 hours in the morning, 4.5 hours in the morning. So I didn't have to come back in the afternoon. So we would train from 8 to 12, at 12:30, and then I would be able to eat lunch and then go have fun and enjoy the sights in the afternoon. So I wasn't there like a fighters camp. So if you were
Gotcha.
part of the fighters camp, you would probably go for jogging uh, for however miles you wanted to do in the morning. And they would meet at a lake close to the gym, and they would jog around that lake uh, for however long, and then they would jump into class at 8. And so if you're a fighter, that's what you would do. You would jog in the morning, then you would do the class in the morning, and then do the class in the afternoon slash evening time.
That sounds
And
that sounds like awesome. Both of those sound awesome to me, but for different reasons. I love that. That sounds like a great trip. I'm going to pay attention to you and just kind of latch on to your next trip over there. Just show up, be like, "Hey, Conrad, I'm here."
hey, I'll tell you what. If you want to come do it with me, let's do it together. Because for me, I'm at the stage where I want to go train, and at the same time, I want to see the sights. So
Yeah.
I'm not part of the fighters camp. And so we basically in the morning we kind of were part of the fighters camp, and then he would take us aside and explain to us, because I was in the instructors group too. We would go and work with the fighters and everything like that. Then he would pull us aside and explain why he's teaching things in a certain way. He would explain his system to us as well too. And so we were training right alongside the fighters camp. So I think if anyone's looking to go train in Thailand, it's important to know what your purpose there is.
Mm.
Are you there just to kind of absorb the culture and the Muay Thai culture in Thailand, and just see how they're training and have a little fun? That would be different than if your goal was to. And I met a bunch of people that are training there for the purpose to fight in Thailand.
Mm.
So if your purpose is to fight in Thailand, it depends on your background, how long you trained. So you might have to train 2 or 3 months even before the teacher feels you're ready to fight. But if you've trained a lot, maybe they'll let you fight in 2 or 3 weeks even, because your skill level is so high already. But it's important to figure out what you're doing there, because that'll determine how you want to train, and also determine what camp you want to go to, because different camps might specialize in different things. So some camps are really known for clinching, and if maybe that's a weak part of your game, then you might want to do that. Some camps are heavy on the punching, some camps are very well rounded, and some camps are heavy on the kicking. And so research, there's a lot of great gyms over there. Just figure out what you want out of it. What's your goal? Or is your goal vacation training? There might be some really good camps for just that, where it's not so hardcore, and they'll share with you. They'll teach you lots of techniques. You'll get to spar very lightly technically, and then if your goal is to fight, then you might want to research the type of camp that would improve your skills the most, whether that's clinching or kicking or punching, or just maybe a very general, well-rounded gym as well too. And the other thing, again, the lodging is important, because if you're living too far from the gym, then it's just a headache, hassle and headache to go back and forth all the time, because you'll be coming back and forth to the gym 2 or 3 times a day. And so try find a gym with lodging in the gym, or at least a gym with some lodging very close by, like across the street or a few blocks away at most.
Nice. Good tips there. Side note, we just had Patrick jump on the podcast. Patrick, say hi.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Nothing much.
All right. Hey, Patrick.
Hey,
So,
Conrad.
Conrad, we're next question. Did you get to watch any of the competitive fights while you're there? Because I've heard some crazy things about like how young they start fighting, and like a lot of them retire at like a very young age, also with like an obscene number of fights.
Yeah. I think yes, I did. To answer your question, we went to Lumpini Stadium, that one of the most famous stadiums, but it's their remake, the remodeled stadium. So it's very updated. I was I heard the old stadium was run down and grungy and maybe very Spartan like what you would like. But this new stadium, very modern stadium style seating, air conditioning. It's a wonderful stadium and great views from every seat. And so one championship was having their Muay Thai event on the night that I went to watch. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, you just got to watch a bout when you're there. If you're there to train Muay Thai, or even if you're not, if you can watch a bout, there's fights every night at some stadium somewhere. I can't say every night, but almost every night at some stadium somewhere. There's matches that you can go watch. And so some might be local small shows, and some might be as big as one championship, which is the one I got to watch. And I like the one championship rules because it's 3 rounds versus 7 or 9 rounds. And so the action's really pushed. It's more intense. And they get bonuses for knocking each other out. So you've got these guys pushing the pace, trying to get bonuses rather than just kind of sitting back scoring points.
Gotcha. So, we mentioned that you trained in the mornings and then had the afternoons, evenings free. What else did you do or see in Thailand besides the Muay Thai fights?
Okay. Yeah, so I was lucky enough to convince and persuade Master Toddy to just pound it out in the morning for us. And so I got my afternoons off. And but because again, I'm there not to compete. If I was there to compete, I would train the schedule. But I was there to learn techniques, to train, of course, and then part of my goal was to sightsee. And so in the afternoon, what was terrific, I would eat, and they provide meals at Master Toddy's, and it's really good there too. Traditional Thai cooking, it's like eating at someone's house. And so we ate lunch there, and then we would hop on the BTS, and that's like their light rail. It stands for Bangkok Transit System, and not to be confused with the BTS K-pop group over in Korea.
Nice.
But yeah, that
Good
transit
reference.
system, yeah, that transit system could bring you almost anywhere. And if there were places that was too far from the transit system, you could use a ride hailing app called Grab. It's basically Asia's Uber. And so we just went all over the place using mostly the light rail system. And there's like this, you just get this card, you pay for the card, and you punch in this computer where you want to go, and you just slide the card into the machine, and you walk through the stalls and hop onto the train. And the system's very easy to navigate. You take it 2-3 times and you're like a pro already. So we would hop on there. I went with my friend Gru Scott from Maryland, and so we traveled all over together. We went to Thai temples. We went to the Imperial Palace. We went to night markets. There's a ton of night markets as well too. And night markets are happening every night somewhere. And so the night markets, there's street food there. There's sometimes arts and crafts, but mostly food. And the food is great. You can have a really solid meal anywhere from $2 to $4 US. And
wow.
oh yeah. If you're paying $6, $7, or $8, that's a upscale meal that you're getting there. But a solid meal, especially street food or at the night market, $3-4, and it is good. So some really good food. I just have some tips for somebody if you're going to the night market and you're eating on the streets, or even if you're eating in the restaurant. I would advise you to stay away from uncooked vegetables like lettuce or tomatoes, especially things like the greens, the lettuce, because you just don't know how those are handled. If you stay with cooked vegetables and just cooked food, and especially if you're at the night market, make sure that you see them cooking it in front of you. Don't just pick up something that's just been laying around for a while, because of course, stomach problems, it could really ruin your trip or at least ruin a few days of your trip. And
Yeah.
so just make sure if you're eating out, avoid ice as well too, ice cubes and things like that. You just don't know how that water's handled or what where the source of that water is sometimes. So just try to be safe about eating. But other than that, if you see them cooking it in front of you, I never had any issues. My friend Scott never had any issues as well too. So we were just safe about that. I've met people who had stomach problems and things like that. They might not have been as careful.
The one that always gets me when I travel overseas, because I'm usually pretty good about like watching what I'm eating and the ice cubes and stuff, is brushing my teeth. I always forget that, like, because I'll rinse off my toothbrush first and then put the toothpaste on and then like brush your teeth. And then now I've got essentially tap water in my mouth. And it's usually not enough to give me like a full blown problems, but it usually kind of softens things up a little bit. So
Yeah, absolutely. So just be careful of all that as well too. Good point.
yeah.
I would say that bottled water is your best friend in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I totally agree. Bottled water.
Yeah, you gotta leave a bottle right by your toothbrush so you don't instinctively go to the tap. So I'd recommend it.
Yep, yep.
So what was your favorite food while you were there?
Oh my goodness, that is hard to say. I just thought everything was really good over there. It's freshly cooked, and for me, the price it just made everything taste better. I don't know what, maybe I'm cheap, but I can't say one thing was good. It was just, and I'm not one to give advice or recommendation for food because anything makes me happy. I mean, I'm just the kind of guy, if you give me a nice warm cup of noodles, I'm like, wow, this is pretty good. So I'm easily satisfied. And so totally in Thailand, I was very satisfied with all the food. So any of the rice plates, whether they cook it up with beef or pork or fish, any of that, super good.
So,
So also we went to some mega malls. They have like huge malls over there. We're talking like 7 or 8 stories of, if you can imagine a normal mall here, but just stack another 5 stories on top. These things are huge because it's hot over there, and so when people go out, they want to go somewhere that's air conditioned, and so there's we went to at least 2, maybe 3 mega malls over there. And those are fun to come and walk around. They have food courts as well too. The food's a little more expensive in there, but still nothing too crazy. And so and there's some mega malls that are a little more price friendly, and then some mega malls are very expensive as well too. So there's all levels for whoever wants whatever as well there too. The mega malls were cool. We went to some Thai ruins as well too in Ayutthaya. It's I think maybe 30 to 45-minute bus drive, maybe an hour bus drive out there, and the ruins were great to walk around as well too. If you're a nerd, a child of the 80s and 90s, and you saw Jean-Claude Van Damme's Kickboxer,
you
you
know I
feel
was
like
gonna ask that question. You know I'm going to that question. All right, keep going. Keep going.
you felt like you were in that training with with Jean-Claude Van Damme and his teacher.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What what's the opinion? Do the Thai people know that, like, that you've interacted with at the Muay Thai gym? Do they know that movie? Was there or like that? I'm just curious, like, because I love that movie. I think it's great. right?
Yes, me too.
But that was my
you guys don't know that there's a whole trend of everybody dancing like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
oh, that's a great scene. That's a great scene.
That is, and I danced that dance. Splits it all, man.
Yeah, my two biggest Muay Thai cultural pop culture things are obviously Kickboxer with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and then the other one is Sagat from Street Fighter 2, where
Yes.
he fights in Thai. Did you go see his actual stage? I don't know where it is. There's like a giant, I think it's a giant Buddha maybe laying down. I'm not sure what
Yes, we did see that lying Buddha. It was in the ruins in Ayutthaya, and
Oh,
so
okay.
that's where that is. It's not as pretty. The pretty one is inside. It's indoor in
Yeah,
a
I've seen
temple in
pictures of that
Bangkok.
one. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, we went to that temple too. So we saw both lying Buddhas, and they're huge. Oh gosh, I would say maybe 50, 60 feet, maybe more. Hard to say. It was just huge.
Okay, I just Googled it. Ayutthaya? Is that how I pronounce it?
Yeah,
Ruins
Ayutthaya. Yeah.
is a stage located in the country of Thailand that appeared as Sagat stage in Street Fighter 2. There it is.
Yep.
Street Fighter Wiki. There it is for you.
All right.
Patrick, since you jumped on, any kind of questions you want to ask before we kind of start wrapping this up?
Yeah, one of the biggest fears that I had going to Thailand and training with the authentic masters is cardio, like running, 10 miles before you even start
Right.
doing any sort of kicking or punching. And that's partly, fun fact, I have asthma. I've had asthma all my life. So my endurance and my cardio is pretty bad. And so my fear is like partly I don't want to go because I don't want to be doing a whole bunch of running. Conrad, did you have to face that long dark path in the morning of running?
Yeah. So I think before you came on, I talked about like, what is your purpose? What is your goal of going over there to train? And they're all fine. There's nothing. There's no right or wrong. Some people, their purpose go there to train for a fight. So some people, their dream is to fight in Thailand. And so yeah, if that was your purpose of fighters camp, you would be doing all that running. So you would run in the morning, and then you would take 2 to 3 classes during the day. If your purpose is to train casually and just to absorb some of the Thai culture and the Thai training, they understand that, and so they're not going to force you to run. Uh, and also make sure you research the camps that you're going to go visit, and make sure they accommodate your goal, your specific goal. So if there's a camp that all they do is just have professional fighters there, and your goal is to just go and absorb some of the culture, maybe learn some techniques, maybe you want to pick up some clinching or whatever it is, you might not want to go there. But if your goal is to be fighting, then and you're going to a camp that's just accommodating to more of the tourist type of training, and that's fine too. I mean, I met people who went to Thailand and Master Toddy school too, just to train for fun as a hobby and to pick up techniques, and they're not there to look to fight. And that gym was accommodating for that. There were people there that wanted to fight, and so they were accommodating to those people as well too.
All right, last question before we got to wrap it up. Is there anything specific that like you feel like you have to buy when you're there? Like, oh, I need to buy Thai shorts from this brand or something like that, or just yeah.
If you want to buy gear, save a bunch of room in your luggage and get the gear and just use that to train there, because you can buy some quality equipment there for probably half as much as over here. All leather stuff, so leather boxing gloves, leather shin pads, headgear as well too. So just leave some extra space in your luggage for that. I would say before we close up, another thing you should get are amulets. Those are like generally there's different amulets for different things, like whether that's luck or money or love, health. Those are, I always pick those things up. Those are always fun for me. Another thing to do there, get Thai massages. They were about $8 for a full hour on average, about $8 for a full hour of Thai massage. I think I overdid it towards the end of it. It was becoming more traumatic than therapeutic for me. But I couldn't resist $8 for a whole hour. You know, back over here, especially in San Francisco, you're gonna pay like upwards of $150 or whatever for a full hour Thai massage. And so make sure you got plenty of that. Also, another tip would be to bring electrolyte powder, because you're gonna be drinking a lot of water and that dilutes all your electrolytes, and that can really screw you up. So make sure you bring some of that. Drink some coconut water as well too, because that has some electrolytes. And my last tip is get Evan's book on how to be a sponsored athlete, because if you're training Muay Thai, you're not making any money. It's a freaking labor of love trying to fight for those belts. And so get that book on being the sponsored athlete, and get some money so that you can go train.
Yeah, I'll drop that link down below in the show notes. Thank you for the plug, Conrad. And there's a lot of jokes I can make there about the Thai massage, but I'll save that and keep it PG on the podcast. I also, side note, I also like my massages borderline. They need to be like super painful. Like I want to know that my masseuse is getting in there and breaking up scar tissue. Like the more painful, the better. All right. Final shout outs, upcoming things that we need to plug. Patrick.
Yeah, we have some fun stuff coming up this summer. Obviously, our street combative seminar is coming up in San Francisco, June 15th and 16th. And then we are going to be at Dragon Fest Expo, which is the biggest martial arts convention on the West Coast. We will actually have a table there. We'll be exhibiting. So if you guys live on the West Coast or plan to attend that convention, please join us and hang out with us. We're going to have some fun, meet some people. It's going to be great. So yeah, 2 big events coming up.
And you'll have a special guest there too. It's me. It's me again.
Yes,
the 3 Musketeers, baby.
Conrad, what do you have?
No, that's it. I hope to see everyone at the Dragon Fest, and we'll have another seminar coming up in that neck of the woods at Rounders again in October. So come and join us. This weekend I'm doing Kung Fu Day. I am performing a martial arts form, a Kung Fu form at Kung Fu Day this weekend. So if you're in the San Francisco Bay Area, come and join me.
Awesome. And again, check the links down below the show notes down below for links, and train with Tiga Tactics Online. We'll drop all those links below. Also, we're doing a webinar, unknown date, probably sometime July, maybe August, that I will be leading, and it'll be about physical training and peaking for martial arts. So kind of taking some of the lessons I've learned from ultra obstacle course racing and just fitness in general. I've bounced around from a lot of things and applying them specifically to martial arts. It'll be a lot of principle based that you can apply to regardless of if you're doing BJJ or Aikido or Muay Thai or whatever you're doing. It'll be principle based. So it's not going to be like, hey, do leg lifts for 10 reps and that's what you're doing. So you'll be able to adapt it. So cool. Please come check that out, and we will see you all in the next episode.
All right. See ya.
Thanks, guys.